Today in studio is a very worldly lady. I'm so excited to be sitting with her, chatting about something so dear to her heart, her life's work, and it comes to us in the form of the epic Ponnivala. Welcome to the show, Dr. Brenda Beck.
Thank you.
Nice to have you with us.
It's a real pleasure to be here.
Well, we're so excited here at ATN to be featuring Ponnivala coming very soon to our television network, and everyone will be able to take advantage of this beautiful story and share it with their families. But this is something very close to your heart. So I want to hear from you about your research. I know you've been studying for 50 years, which is, you know, your life's work, your passion, and you're so passionate about it. So tell me a little bit about how you ended up traveling to India.
Well, I was doing my doctorate at Oxford in England, and there, because of the British tradition of having ruled in India and in many parts of Africa, they gave you the choice, or did, between focusing on India or focusing on Africa. And I chose India, and that's how it got started. And then I went to India for 2 years to do my field work for the dissertation. And for that, I was required to go to some remote place for 2 years, learn the language, and then come back with something interesting to say that I could write a dissertation on. And when I was there in this quite remote village at that time, I found this wonderful story.
And going from the UK and going to a remote village in India, what were some of the challenges, just briefly, that you faced?
I guess the biggest one was, at least in the beginning, was the lack of electricity. Because I love to read, and I brought a tape recorder with music so I could enjoy myself. And there was no electricity. And in the evenings, it was very difficult to read because they just had these tiny little oil lamps. So the first week or so, I thought, what am I going to do? 2 years, and every night I can't read. What am I going to do? And then I heard a drum one night. And so I turned to the woman who was my companion and also my cook, and I said, what's that? Let's go see. And she said, okay, come, I'll show you. Of course, we didn't communicate very well because I was just beginning to learn Tamil, but enough so she understood.
Right.
So she took me out to the village square, and there was a whole group of people listening to a singer. And I thought, this is interesting. He must be telling stories. And I suddenly realized that maybe this was a window onto local culture and onto the language. Because if I could learn some of these stories, then I would understand much better who these people were, and hopefully I could really improve my Tamil at the same time. Well, I had a tape recorder, and so now the challenge was to see if I could use my tape recorder to record some stories. So I asked the singer if I could have permission, and he was quite excited, but I had to show him what a tape recorder was. He'd never seen one. And so I played back some sound, and he understood, and he said, yes, I'd be honored. So that was fixed. Then I turned to the audience and I said, what story would you like him to tell? What would you like to put in my little box? And everybody agreed that the Ponnivala story was their favorite. And so I said, okay, let's listen to that. Thinking maybe it was a half-hour story or 45 minutes. I didn't ask. Well, that was foolish because it ended up taking 18 nights and about 44 hours, all my tapes. I had to wipe all the music I brought in order to record him. And I also had a battery problem because it was not so easy to get enough batteries.
And that recording has sprouted into this amazing epic story that we're going to be able to share with all of our viewers, so we're really excited about that. Yes. And you have so many other mediums with which you can share this story as well. And through your research, you're bringing this new epic, new to us in the Western world, I think, because we've never really been introduced to Ponnivala.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about the story.
Okay, well, let me first tell you about the name.
Sure.
In Tamil, it's either called the Ponar Shankar Kadai, which is the name of the two heroes, Ponar and Shankar, or Ananmar Kadai, which means the story of the elder brothers. Well, I wasn't very happy with those names because that features only the male heroes. And this story has some wonderful females. So I wanted a name that would work for all of the heroes and heroines. And so now I've chosen the story of Ponnivala. Ponnivala is the name of the region. And Poni is the name of the Kaveri River. So every time there's a song in the story talking about the land and the farming of the land to make it prosperous, they sing the glories of Ponnivala, except that in Tamil they call it Ponnivala Nadu, Nadu meaning region. Well, I've dropped the Nadu in English because it's just too much for an English speaker to say. But in Tamil, it's Ponnivala Nadu.